This is Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, and you're listening to WNS.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 292 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNSvideo, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
You can find us on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, and Player.fm, and Purse. So
not Purse.
Just search Wrestling News
Satchel.
Source. Search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
It's a satchel.
The podcast is on Twitter at WNS Podcast. Daniel's at WNS_Daniel. And Tyler's at Tyler_Abear.
There you go. So welcome to the show. Like Tyler alluded to, we're not on Purse, okay?
We're on Fanny Pack.
We're now available on Satchel.
Man Bag.
So you can download the free app and or any of the free apps around there and just search Wrestling News Source. Got plenty to cover this week. Got some feedback, Raw, Smackdown. We're going to give you our predictions for Clash of Champions taking place this Sunday. Also some hot topics, Q&A as well. So welcome everyone for checking out the show. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Tyler, how you doing?
I just ate some Wendy's.
Yeah?
And my stomach is rumbling. So
there's a rumble.
I don't know what's going on.
In the jungle.
I don't know if the stuff that just went in me is fighting my body.
Uh-oh.
We will see. But other than that, I'm all right.
Well, good. Good to hear that. Doug, how are you?
I'm doing well enough.
Yeah? Hanging in there?
Sure.
Did you hear that there's going to be a cold front, I think, coming through next Monday?
I did not know that.
I think that's what I read. I want to say that I read that. So,
That'd
something
be nice.
Just
Good
something to
old
think about.
Southeast Texas, a place where it can be cold for a few days, then hot, then cold, then hot.
Then
or
rainy.
Rainy, then it'll be, or when it gets our winter time, it will be.
Our 1 week of winter?
Yeah, we'll get it'll be cold or cool in the morning, hot during the day, and cool at night.
Yes, I hate those days. Because Because I have to leave for work and I don't know where to put the thermostat.
Oh my gosh, we don't
Do I leave it on heater or do I leave it on cold?
Yeah, there's people in other places that get the 4 seasons?
Yes, they have an autumn.
Yeah.
And a spring.
I don't know what autumn is like because what's over here is mostly summer, all summer, a little bit of winter, then summer again. That's what it is.
Okay, our 4 seasons consist of summer, a couple of days of rain, cold weather, not winter, because here, our lows get to be the 50s, maybe, it's dipped down into the mid 30s, I think. I think that's about the coldest it's gotten around here lately. So it's not necessarily a freeze. So anyone listening up north, they're like, oh, these guys are wusses. Well, you come down here and experience our summers, you'll think differently.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we have about 2 weeks of cold weather. Then we have an on again, off again, like you mentioned. It's cold during the night, hot during the day.
They'll get to a point where it's cold the whole day.
Yeah.
For a while. Then
that's the 2 weeks of our winter.
Yeah.
That usually occurs right around Christmas.
Well, last year I think it was hot during Christmas.
It was pretty warm. I think it was.
You never hear that before. I
think it was 78 on Christmas. Because
I remember that or Thanksgiving, one of those. I don't know.
It was Christmas because I was sitting out on my grandparents' back patio and everyone was in short sleeves and all that, and we're like, "Hey, Merry Christmas!
Hey, let's go sit around the fire."
Yeah, let's warm up because I'm sweating from sitting out here. Then it gets, hot again. Mm-hmm. So, anyways,
that's our weather. That
is our weather for those of you who are interested. So let's talk about some feedback that we received. First bit of feedback, only bit of feedback we have from Ace McSpade. saying, I think New Day will surpass Demolition as longest reigning tag champs. Axe and Smash are involved with a class action lawsuit against WWE, as well as about 50 other former superstars. I predict the New Day retains just to stick it to those guys. And I looked it up, and I believe Demolition was at 498, somewhere around there. And the New Day is only about 12 weeks behind.
What was the deal? I thought they said the longest reigning was actually Kendrick and what's his name? Paul London.
Yeah.
What was the deal about that? Well, they were saying they were like, oh, they beat their record or something. I don't understand it.
I don't either. I don't get it. But Doug, do you have any idea about all that?
I'm not sure who technically has the record.
I want to say Demolition does, but who knows?
I mean, I don't even know what Tyler's talking about, to be honest. Like, did they mention that on the show or something?
I don't know where I saw it. I thought maybe I read it or someone said. Don't quote me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I will look it up, I guess.
All right. So, I don't know. Thoughts on New Day surpassing Demolition? Think it's gonna happen?
I could see them doing that just despite them if like whose comment is this?
Ace McSpade.
Just like Ace says, I'm sure I can definitely envision a world in which they do that just because of the reason that Ace says. So it wouldn't surprise me for sure.
Like, oh, you want to file a lawsuit on us? Boom,
What's
there goes
the
your
lawsuit?
record.
What's the lawsuit?
It's the concussion
stuff?
and brain damage and all that.
Oh, that was the stuff with Luther, Reigns, and like there was someone else that was part of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people involved. Some people I saw think that it's just a cash grab. They're just trying to get a payoff. Have the WWE just be like, look, here's some money, you know, drop the case or whatever. Who knows? But yeah, thanks for the comment, Ace McSpade. We will certainly see what the future holds for the New Day.
That may play into predictions.
It certainly will. We got to see Raw. I missed probably the first half of Smackdown. Did not get to catch Lucha Underground this past week. I know, shame on me. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, Lucha Underground was basically the majority of it was the WMD match, which was fine. So, but I mean, as far as a lot of pushing stories
WMD?
forward or weapons of mass destruction, is that not what the match was called? I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. It was Marty the Moth Martinez versus Killshot for the tags.
Nice.
Which they pretty much had they basically decorated the set like a war zone with like guns and artillery shells.
They had that promo with a whole situation where it's like, oh, I messed with you, got your tags, I gave you your tags back and all that stuff. I start messing, but now we're going to war. And
I mean, it wasn't the entire show, but it was the majority of the show and the most important thing that happened on the show. So you guys didn't really miss a lot other than that match.
Okay. So we had the go-home show for Raw leading into Clash of Champions. I don't know. I feel like Raw's kind of gone back into their old stitch. Like, nothing really feels new anymore. It's like, okay, yeah, we've got a new, air quote, new roster and new champions and everything, and that's all fine and dandy, but now we're just getting, like, jobber matches and the same old boring intro to the show, and I don't know.
Well, we do have the Cruiserweights now, which is...
Yeah, it's something.
Literally a new addition, I guess.
Yeah. But, I mean, the whole Reigns, Stephanie McMahon, Foley, and Owen segment to kick it off, like, it's one of those things, like, we everyone gives them the excuse of, oh, well, they have to fill 3 hours. Like,
what's the deal with how Foley was talking about, like, I'm with you and you stood with me and all that stuff, but if I fell, I'm on the chopping block, and that was kind of like a real
well, yeah,
promo and stuff like that.
He's trying to make it as legit as he can, because he's basically saying, look, before I got this gig, I was sitting on the couch. I didn't have a job. I was watching the product, and I love the product.
So there's literally truth to that.
Yeah, because Vince is not going to fire Stephanie. He would fire Mick if something were to go wrong. Storyline or real. It's just one of those things where he's saying, hey, look, your job's secure. I'm going to support you, but if something goes wrong, it's all on me.
Thing.
Yeah. But going back to what I was saying, people are saying, oh, well, they have 3 hours to film. Like, well, this is a chance for you to build other storylines that are going on. I understand you're trying to put over certain talent with these squash matches against local talent or jobbers, however you want to describe them. But I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, is there someone that you have is there someone that you're thinking about in particular that they could add some focus to on the roster? Because it feels like they're getting everyone on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of who's not on the show but is on the roster.
I mean, maybe Neville wasn't there this week, maybe, but
yeah,
Big Show. No, stupid joke.
I mean, I don't know. It's just.
I think he's correct. Yeah, that's pretty much everyone on the roster. They're promoting
the Cruiserweight is a nice addition. That is the silver lining here this week.
Is it though? You guys felt like it? Because I had a lot of problems with the way they chose to introduce the Cruiserweights.
Yeah, as did I. And the fact that they didn't even introduce TJ Perkins, like, formally. Like,
yeah,
hey, here's your champion.
I only came in during the match. I didn't get to see them in the ring with Foley.
Okay, first of all, I've really enjoyed Foley's work. As far as being back as a general manager, I think he's doing the best he can to... I don't even know exactly what I'm trying to say. I just feel like he's doing the best he can with what he's given to make, the most of the shows. I think he's been, in terms of if we're looking at like what Brian's doing on Smackdown and we're looking at what Foley's doing on Raw, I have a greater appreciation for what Foley's doing. It feels like he's trying to make sense of his role. And I don't know if that's what Brian's being given versus what Foley's being given. But it feels like he's doing his best to make sense of the storylines. He's doing his best to, just like endear himself to the.
He's putting a little more emotion into it.
Yeah, it is the same old authority stuff because Steph is there every week and we're getting this. Basically, everything still goes through her, but he's trying to make it different and. Better in the best way that he can. And I've appreciated his work, but he really fucked up that intro to the Cruiserweights.
Yes. What happened? I didn't see that.
He just flubbed a lot of lines. It felt like it was a written promo.
He was struggling.
And he just, not only did he flub the lines of the promo, but it looked like at one point he just forgot what he was supposed to say next. It was just a really bad, and in the big scheme of things, that's forgivable in the sense that if it's just another authority promo because there's going to be another one next week, there was one last week, or if it's just another backstage segment with Jericho because there's going to be next week, there was one last week, there's going to be one next week. The problem with him fucking up so early here is it's like the reintroduction to the Cruiserweights, not just the division, but to three brand new talents and one returning talent. So it really fucks up the tone. Like Daniel said, it's a huge, glaring fucking error not to have TJ Perkins on TV. I don't care that you put him on the pre-show.
I don't care that he got a highlight package or anything
I don't
like
care
that.
that they had highlight packages. He's your new champ. He needs to. It's not us complaining. This is not nitpicking. Your new champ of your new division has to be on the fucking show the first week.
Not exclusive on the WWE website.
They did an angle on .com. Do your fucking angle on the show.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Yeah.
Have him come down to the ring as you're introducing the four guys and be like, this is the man you're going to be challenging. He beat all of you in a sense.
Yeah, like
He
whoever.
didn't have to wrestle, but he had to come out.
Have him come out in a suit.
The reason that those four people were wrestling is for the championship, which was not on the show. And the reason they were wrestling is to wrestle the champion holding that championship, who was also not on the show. They didn't show the belt. They didn't show the guy at one half of your pay-per-view match for the belt, it's just a really bad look. Like it's inconceivably bad. Like how you could not, how you think you could get away with not putting the champ on TV that first week.
And
video package or not, I don't care about his a minute and a half video package. That was not good enough.
No, it was not. If you want to have the video package, then you lead in. You have that lead into him walking out to the ring.
He didn't have to wrestle. He could have said on commentary.
Yep.
He could have walked out
of the ramp, held the belt up, and be like, "This is what you're fighting for," and then gone to the back. Like that would have been fine.
Because a sizable portion of the Raw audience did not watch the Cruiserweight Classic and have no idea who the fuck he is.
Yeah. And you could tell in that match that the crowd, there was, and this is exactly what we were talking about just last week. Whenever you make the transition, what's the percentage going to be like of people who did and did not watch it? When that match started off, and whenever the guys were making their intros, not a whole lot of reaction from the crowd. But like once the match actually got going, then they got into it.
I don't know, man. I feel like they struggled to keep them invested because, like you said, nobody got a reaction other than Kendrick, who got a very small reaction for the people who remembered him, and the other guys got nothing. Swan got a little bit because he's an energetic guy, he's a charismatic guy, so
people clap along,
so he's capable enough to get a small reaction. But even when I felt like there were parts in the match where they completely died, like the crowd just lost. They would pop for some like big spots, for some flashy stuff. But not knowing who these guys are and not knowing signature moves or things that are supposed to come across as big deals, like they lost the crowd a lot during the match. And I think it's just because they didn't know who these people were.
Yeah.
And so, to me, in my opinion, it's a failure of a debut or re-debut of a division, and it's a failure of a debut of three guys, and it's a failure of a re-debut of Brian Kendrick, and it's a complete failure to not even have TJP on the show.
Yeah.
It was also, you think they get the same reaction where, okay, how many of the Cruiserweight Classic guys they're going to have for the division? How many, like,
supposedly 6, but we only saw 4.
I thought 8.
I thought it was more than that.
Might be 8.
Because say we get the other set of guys in next week or whatever.
TJP was backstage, obviously. Noam Dar was backstage. He just wasn't used.
And they have Gargano and Ciampa, right?
So they'll probably keep on NXT, more than likely.
They had those video packages for
But they are going to have Jack Gallagher as well, I believe.
See, that's another thing, though. Also, this goes into something else. I saw on Facebook, they'll show some matches from NXT. Alexander's doing NXT stuff. So are all of those Cruiserweight guys going to do NXT stuff too? Or just some? Or
I don't know. A lot of the NXT stuff that you're seeing right now has been taped before this point. It's not a live show. So what they had while they were down for the Classic, they were filming NXT matches as well.
You're right. Six confirmed. Brian Kendrick, Rich Swann, Grand Metalik, Cedric Alexander, Lindsay, yeah, and Noam Dar.
Well, they show video packages for Tommaso and Gargano, too.
Yeah, but I mean, I think everyone at the time took those as official announcements, and they may have just been, these are Cruiserweights and they're coming. Like,
we're working out the contracts.
Yeah, who knows?
But small little nitpick thing. I didn't like that Mick Foley brought out the piece of paper to introduce the guys.
Oh,
like,
really?
If you're the GM and you're so honored and proud to introduce the crowd, you got to know who the guys are.
Do you think that was how it was supposed to have gone down all along, or do you think that he fucked up so bad he just had to pick it up?
I think that was his lifeboat.
Yeah.
And he was just like, shit, okay.
Let me not fuck these guys.
I've screwed this up enough. Let me get this. But
because it would have been even worse if he had like messed up someone's name or like something about them.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just rough. It was rough.
You know what? I don't think they should have done a 4-way. I don't even know if they should have done a 4-way. I think they could have just done if they only had time for one singles match, I think they could have done 2 singles matches, because 4-ways are hard to get across because you've got to make sure everyone gets their shit in a sense.
Yep.
Everyone has a little bit of shine to it.
Yep.
The Cruiserweight Classic was all singles matches, and what they were able to do storytelling wise was, really bumping the bar up. So I would have liked to have seen some singles matches.
Yeah. And, this harkens back to the way that the Cruiserweight Classic was presented. It was a one-on-one matchup. They both got their shine, so the audience, they both got their background story, so the audience going into it knew who they were. You can't tell your story in a 15-second little video clip where you can't even hear what you're saying because the music's going, the crowd is making noise. It makes no sense. So for them to all come in and be like, okay, no, what was that guy's story? And now this guy's coming out. What's the deal with him? Oh, Brian Kendrick, I remember him.
They tried to boil it all down to like snippets.
Yeah.
They're like, Cedric was the guy who lost a bunch of weight to get in the tournament. And then Kendrick was the guy who's coming back.
It's like if you're gonna introduce a new division, just have two guys. Hey, you guys were great in the Cruiserweight Classic. You guys stuck out to me. I want you two to fight for the number one contendership to go up against TJ Perkins. That'll give them time. That'll give WWE time to put a video package for each guy, just like they did in the Cruiserweight, just a 2-minute little clip telling their backstory, showing some clips of what they did in the Classic. Then you have the match. Now everyone is involved and everyone knows what's going on.
I understand that there's a problem with they want a Clash of Champions. They want the championships to be defended. Mm-hmm. Well, logistically, then you should have fucking figured out to get them there more than a week before then.
Yeah.
You control when all that was taped. You knew, maybe you didn't know a year in advance, but you probably knew significantly
enough in advance.
Yeah, to get them there 2 weeks early then, and then you can have a couple because I understand how do we just did a tournament, so how do we crown a contender? It's like, so we got to have a bunch of guys fight quickly. So I get why they went with a 4-way. I just think it was not a great for introducing. I mean, it could have been like if they would have let them do like just go nuts, but that they're handcuffing them a bit. No matter what they let them do, they're handcuffing them for sure. So if they would have went out there and did like balls to the wall, just went nuts, then that could have been like the debut that they needed. But
or here's something they could have done: give them two singles matches on Raw, and say the winner of those two matches, you're going to face each other in the kickoff for Clash of Champions. The winner of that faces TJ Perkins at Clash of Champions.
Just about anything would have been better with it.
Yeah, I mean that takes care of so many other problems.
I really wonder. I want to know what their thought process is, if not showing TJ at all. I don't know, man.
I don't get that either.
Not even like an inset promo.
Nothing. Just the little video package about the Cruiserweight Classic. But here's the other problem that I have. The Cruiserweight should not be on SmackDown. I'm just going to say it. Michael Cole cannot carry the Cruiserweights. He does not have the energy like Morrow does. I'm sorry.
You mean they should have been on Raw?
I'm sorry. They should be on SmackDown. They should not be on Raw.
I was like, where's he going with this?
I was like, it's not going to be on SmackDown.
I was thinking they should be on SmackDown. They should not be on Raw.
Right.
So they should not be on Raw. Cole he does not excite whenever they're doing the dives and the flying stuff. It's just not the same. Morrow can just turn it up to that next level, and Byron can't carry that. Corey Graves does a good enough job because he obviously followed the Cruiserweight Classic because he was a part of it.
JBL and Otunga.
Morrow by himself can carry those two. I mean, Otunga is fine as a chime in every once in a while kind of thing. JBL, yeah, he's going to be annoying. Oh, we got ourselves a flying insert, whatever. But we got a flying Cruiserweight. So I'll learn your name. But with Daniel Bryan and Morrow on SmackDown, I mean, come on. Whatever.
I mean, I love Bryan, and his enthusiasm was his greatest attribute for being an announcer for the Cruiserweight Classic. But let's be honest, he's not a great announcer.
No. But it's the energy that he brought to the table.
I mean, I love Bryan as much as anybody, probably more than a lot of people, but he's not a great announcer. It's just his enthusiasm is what carried him. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, what I wish we could get was like a Morrow Graves like Regal commentary team.
Oh, good.
Because they know they let Regal do so much in NXT, and like before they sat down with before they transitioned into what's the guy who used to be there? He's gone now. Didn't he come from Booker T school?
Yeah.
Rich Brennan. Yeah. Before they transitioned to all that, they were letting Regal do some commentary, and I really wish you could get like a Regal, Morrow, Graves commentary team, and just fucking let them call both shows. I think
that would be awesome. But man, what a rough start for the cruiserweights, and I fear that it's, maybe they're just like, look, we're rushed. This isn't how we wanted it to go, but we just have to make do for this week. Next week we'll have more focus. I'm hoping. I'm going to try and be optimistic about it.
Yeah, I mean, I admire optimism because I think this is just what we're getting.
Yeah, I mean, they could have pulled the Bo Dallas versus Gary Graham match to give the cruiserweights a little bit more shine. The match itself, it was, it's typical WWE style in a cruiserweight setting where, when you have these multi-man matches, there's only going to be two guys in the ring no matter what, until you get close to the end where it all breaks apart and everyone's hitting their finishers on one another. But, throughout the majority of the match, two guys would be on the outside, two guys would be on the inside, then one gets thrown out, another guy comes in, throws that guy out, and then the next guy comes in, But
I mean, that's pretty standard in any four-way match anywhere, but they were handcuffed for sure.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a four-way, they had to go nuts, and they didn't let them go nuts.
I'm just going to try and be optimistic. They just made a lot of mistakes on Raw. Like, not the cruiserweights, just Raw in itself made a lot of mistakes, I felt.
Like what?
Well, one of the things that I was loving was the list that Jericho introduced. Mm-hmm. And then it completely got overshadowed with, let's bring in this tag team. Now let's interrupt this tag team and bring this tag team and this guy and these guys. And then they're all arguing, and it was just like, all right, well, what's the point of this again? We're going to have ourselves a 10-man tag match.
Well, I think that, reason. I'm going to agree with you that I think Jericho is doing his most entertaining work in years at this point, and I was into it as well. But I don't know where else he was going to go with it that he already been. Like, I didn't think he had much more material to go with.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I think it's just a way to get all those guys on the show without having to do. See, we were just talking about how they really should have cut this and gave the cruiserweights more time. It's a way to get all those people on the show because they have a pay-per-view coming up. Special event, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Those people are going to be on the special event, maybe not all on the main show, but on the pre-show. You had to get them on the show in some sense. This is as good a way as any to, multi-man match is as good as any. That way, at least, half the people don't have to job who are on the pay-per-view anyway.
Yeah. But, Braun Strowman versus Sin Cara, this is a rematch. That could have been cut.
Sure.
We didn't see anything from Nia Jax except the video clip, so they could have done the same thing for Braun. Sure. Showing what he did to Sin Cara. Again, another
the Braun and Sin Cara match made for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, have that be a kickoff match or something. You had the Bo Dallas versus local talent. I don't know where that's going to go. I have no idea who he's going to feud with. Maybe Curtis Axel or something like that. Who knows? The Cesaro versus Sheamus series all tied up now.
And the pay-per-view will be
that'll be the deciding one, which, once they announced it, you could kind of tell that was what they were going to do.
Yeah, then whoever wins gets a shot at the title.
Get a title shot. They have not specified what title or anything of that nature.
You get a shot at the Women's Championship.
Yeah, you get to go for the United States title. It was just, I don't know, this didn't get me really pumped up for Clash of Champions, which I don't know if that's their intent anymore.
You didn't like the match where first of all, it's not their intent.
No. The match itself, it was fine. This whole series has been kind of bland to me.
That, Outsider's Edge backbreaker was fucking nuts.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
And I like the overarching story of like
the back.
Yeah.
And, I appreciate that they have had a story to tell, but the matches themselves, like, there's a couple spots here and there that they do. It's really awesome. It's cool to see, but the matches have been kind of bland.
I don't think they've been bland. I think they've been good. I think both these guys have been good. It's just like,
I mean, they're not bad matches,
but it's, it's hard to have 7 compelling matches consecutively with the same guy.
Sure.
It's not easy. That's even for elite workers like Cesaro. That's a tall order,
Yeah.
I think that's how I'm feeling, because maybe I don't remember, best out of 7 matches in the past or whatever, but I'm like, I get this, but I kind of don't want to see him fight anymore. I know it sounds bad, but
I think all the matches have been good. I think they've done the best that they can to sort of play off of previous matches and work the story forward. But I mean, there's only like so much variation you can do whenever they're the same guys. They have essentially the same moveset and the same abilities. It's like to give you 7 different matches is like really fucking hard to do, honestly.
Yeah, I think that they could have booked the losses for Sheamus a little differently. Like, whenever it was 3-0, Sheamus is going for the win. Do something to get yourself disqualified. Just I don't know. It could have been anything. Thumb to the eye, and the ref just happened to catch it. Just something like you got over cocky. And you get yourself disqualified. That would have got people talking. Be like, oh, he messed that one up on himself. Here's his chance to redeem it. Oh my gosh, he just tapped out. Like, what is he doing? Like, it was all like pinfall, and Cesaro using the ropes for leverage to get the win. Like, that's kind of a
I didn't like that. I didn't like that finish.
And then I liked at least the fact that Sheamus tried to do it, and the ref was like, hey, wait a second, like, you can't be doing that. But it was just like, it was just a pinfall or submission best of 7. Like, I would have liked to have seen a disqualification. I would have liked to have seen a count-out win or something,
I think people say that, but I think if they give you too many schmozzy bullshit finishes, then people are complaining about that too. I think people are like, fuck it, we want decisive victories, and I don't know. I think it's less about the finishes and more about the fact that they had to come up with 7 interesting and different enough matches, and it's just there aren't that many people who can do it at all. It's a difficult thing to do.
It is.
They don't do the best of 7 series often.
I don't recall the last one that they did. Maybe.
I mean, I remember the Booker T one and for the television title on WCW, but that was like a long time ago, and I don't know, so much younger that I couldn't like remember if they like varied the story of the matches. I'd have to like re-watch those.
Yeah, I think one of the last ones I remember was like MVP, and I want to say Chris Benoit, but I'm not for certain. Anyway, or maybe it was Shelton Benjamin.
Like, I don't honestly I don't know, like going back to WC, I don't know if I had a critical enough eye at that point in my fandom to be able to tell like how. I don't think I look for the same things in my wrestling then that I do now, so it probably wouldn't have even bothered me,
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from. Me personally, I would have liked to have had a little more variety. Like Sheamus is, fighting off Cesaro, and they're battling on the outside of the ring, and the ref's up to 8, and Cesaro like hits that big forearm or something, goes to get into the ring, but Sheamus catches him by the leg, throws him as the ref counts 9, and he rolls in and, counts 10 or something like that. Like, if you're going to have a heel win, have him do it in a heel fashion. I applaud the back injury angle into an instant submission where Cesaro tapped immediately. I really appreciated that. But after that, it's just different things that I think they could have done. But, it's all tied up now. So we get to look forward to the final matchup at Clash of Champions. Charlotte and Dana go on to defeat Bayley and Sasha Banks, which I don't remember too much about the matchup. Is there anything really worth noting?
I don't like Bayley taking this pinfall.
Yeah.
To me, that's like 2 weeks in a row, and it's sort of like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? I don't like that at all.
Damn you, WWE.
And where are they going with the Dana Brooke angle? Like, is she just there to
eventually break off? I would
Is
think.
she there to just take abuse from Charlotte?
Maybe for right now,
Like-
and then she'll probably like, I'm tired of you, and then they'll have their own little mini feud, I guess. I don't know.
The problem with the Dana Brooke stuff is that they were not a cohesive unit at all. So no one appreciated them as a unit so no one's invested in their relationship. And now that when their relationship goes bad, then people are like, oh, well, I enjoyed them together, or I've at least experienced them working well together. So I'm going to turn and look at it differently now that they're like feuding, but they are feuding instantly from Jump Street, so no one's invested in their relationship. So
it was like they were together for a month, maybe.
They were like 2 weeks in. They were already doing this shit where she's like, "You fucked up. You're out of here."
Yeah, like that's not nearly enough time for the crowd to get invested in Dana, and they don't care Charlotte as it is because she's the heel.
There's gonna be another time where I bet that she's trying to please her.
Hey, now
she messes up again, tries to slap her, but blocks it and hits her.
Yeah. It's just, and the crowd's gonna react. They're gonna be like, "Oh, Charlotte got slapped, yay," or something. But after that, when they finally split, it's gonna be like the Miz and Damian Sandow. It's like, okay, well, where do we go from here?
And it really hurts me that someone like Bayley is like collateral damage for this thing that they think is this feud that they think is good, because it honestly feels like Bayley and Sasha are background players in the Dana Brooke Charlotte stuff. Mm-hmm. When Bayley comes in hot, which is not an easy task. We've seen some hit or miss debuts from NXT, so it's not always a guarantee that a new NXT person is going to be over when they get there. And she fucking was in consecutive weeks, not just the same town.
Yeah.
So I don't know why she's eating pinfalls just to further this, like, because the money feud is getting back to Sasha and Bayley.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They sort of teased it a little bit with the not dissension, but they're sort of like,
we're friends, but
the title comes first. I get, yeah. That's where it doesn't need to be what they're doing right now, but it's like where they should be working eventually. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't feel like that. It feels like they're background players in the Charlotte story.
Yep.
And they're gonna if they damage how the crowd feels about them by giving the crowd reasons to lose faith in Sasha and Bayley, then once you eventually throw your hands up when the Charlotte thing doesn't work, or when you eventually play that out and then you go back to Sasha and Bayley and you're like, here, now we're going to give it to you, people are going to like be de-invested at that point. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I hate to see Bayley eating those 2 pinfalls.
Yeah. I mean, go back to SummerSlam and watch the crowd's reaction when Bayley came out as the mystery partner and all that. Like the roof went off. She got like the largest pop of the night.
Not only that, but the whole thing was stupid how they set it up where she shows them like, hey, so they go back to the double pin that we speculated. They show video of it, and she's like, see, they're all 4 shoulders are down and blah. And that means they should fight to see who gets whatever. If anything, it should have been like, if you're going to play out this story, then that should have been like Mick saying, okay, well, they cancel each other out or whatever, and then you're getting the match, or and that way you can do. I mean, maybe they're not ready to go to the end of the feud this fast, but at least that puts it on them, and then Sasha and Bayley don't have to eat pinfalls to further their story. That keeps them out of it. Like they canceled each other out, then maybe they feud over who's going to be the contender or something. I don't know. That's not like a perfect booking or anything. I'm just saying, like, why.
Yeah.
It's just confusing and not well done. I don't know.
Yeah. What'd y'all think about the Rusev and Rollins match?
I thought it was fine for what it was. They weren't going to beat either one of those guys.
Yeah. I knew once the match was announced, I was like, oh, there's no way that we're going to have a clean winner.
Yeah, I mean, I say that, but we got a clean finish in the main event, which was surprising. So.
Yeah. That was. Do you think that was supposed to be a little closer?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, they both fell out, and Owen started celebrating, and then they hit Roman's music. So, do you think it was supposed to be like a simultaneous fall, or he just thought that he had won?
I don't think they messed it up. I think that Roman was supposed to win, if that's what you're saying. Or you mean he was always supposed to win, but it was supposed to be closer?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I don't know.
Like, oh, we got to go to the replay. Because they've done that several times.
Sure.
But, I mean, hell, they've even edited it to make it look like it was closer than what it was. So I don't know, but I was kind of shocked that one had a clean ending as well. I don't know how I feel about Rollins making the save on that.
I felt like they were testing the waters for like a Shield reunion or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like they're trying to slowly turn Rollins' face.
Well, they are, and I appreciate the fact that it's like a subtle, gradual turn and not like I'm a good guy now. All the terrible, terrible things I've done, you just forget them, even though they just happened.
Yeah.
I like that they're like...
Remember when I broke John Cena's nose? That was an accident. I didn't mean to do that.
I mean, I appreciate nudging the dial instead of just grabbing the fucker and flipping it. You know, I can appreciate that.
And and they're doing it by the slow burn of having him go up to Stephanie and be like, dude, what about all the memories that we've done? Like everything that I've done for you guys, and now you're screwing me over. Like that's not right. And so it's going to get to the point where he's like, all right, you know what? I tried to help you out. I did what you guys asked, but nah, screw you guys. You know,
Go home.
Well, it would have come across as phony and bullshit if he was just like straight up babyface, like after they turned him and not acknowledge the fact. Instead of doing that, they did the, hey, what the fuck? Well, I was the guy. Why did you screw me over like that?
Stephanie, that's your husband. Are you telling me you haven't talked to him in a month? What's going on here?
Oh, I'll tell you when that gets paid off. I know exactly when that's going to wrap up.
Could it be this Sunday at Clash of Champions?
No, it'll be after football season when the ratings aren't in the fucking shitter, and then Triple H will come back. Triple H will come back to your show and wrap up your fucking storyline for you.
Oh, okay.
When is football season over?
February.
Okay, yeah, right into WrestleMania. We're gonna get that Rollins Triple H match at Mania. Oh yeah, you watch. We ain't gonna see that motherfucker during football season.
You don't think he'll make an appearance at Clash of Champions, screw him out of the title?
Nope.
Help his boy?
Nope.
Owens?
Oh no, Seth Rollins is at NXT because Triple H is out at the beginning of one of the takeovers.
That's right.
Want to have a side bet?
No.
Do a side bet.
I don't have any money to lose.
It's just a matter
Bet
of
a
pride.
penny.
Matter of pride. We don't have to put any money on it.
Yeah, bet your glasses.
No. I need them to see.
No.
There don't have to be any stakes. We can just have a side bet. Do you think you're going to see him? I say we don't see him until football season's over.
Let me see when the big game actually is, because you can't say a certain phrase, but it's a dish that is more than normal.
What kind of dish?
Can't say it on radio, which is weird unless you pay for it. Did you guys not know that?
Can't say dish.
No,
What?
it's not
What are you
that.
talking about?
I don't know what's going on.
What do you mean?
In radio, if you refer to this,
We're not on the radio. We're on the internet.
well, I'm just saying, I don't want to get sued.
Super Bowl, motherfuckers.
All right, so after February
Super
5th,
Bowl.
all right, I'll be sitting in the cheap seats in the courtroom watching you guys. But yeah, you can't say that on the radio.
NFL can suck my dick.
All right,
Come and take it. I don't got fucking anything.
Yeah, take his
You
dick.
want my shitty life-sucking job, you can have it.
okay, so that's obviously on a Sunday, February 5th. So you're saying on February 6th, Monday Night Raw, that'll probably be the first time when we see Triple H?
Sure, I'll say it. Yeah, okay.
So he's not on... Okay, are we including pay-per-views? NXT doesn't count,
Right.
because that's a
Different-
whole
yeah.
universe on its own.
Right. NXT
So he
doesn't
can
count.
appear on NXT, he can appear on Cruiserweight, he can appear on, the Today Show.
Cruiserweight's done.
He can appear
Well-
on
they're getting ready-
WWE.com exclusives.
Yeah. Okay. So they're getting ready to start up the Dusty Classic again. So he can appear at that.
I think I don't think he's worried about appearing at the pay-per-view. I don't think he wants to be on Raw with a bad rating, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. So, okay.
But I don't think we're going to see him this pay-per-view.
So we will not see him on Raw. We will not see him on a WWE, not NXT. We will not see him on a WWE program until February 6th. That's what you're saying?
Not on a televised. I'm not counting the network.
Okay. Well, the pay-per-views are on the network.
Sure.
But NXT, Cruiserweights, Dusty Classic, anything not dealing with Raw, or the Raw related pay-per-views or the big, SmackDown and Raw pay-per-views, we will not see him until February 6th.
I don't think he's worried about being on the pay-per-views. I think he's worried about being on something that they have to. They don't share, it's not common knowledge of what gets viewed on the network. What I'm saying is he doesn't want to be on a Raw that gets a really bad rating because he has to share in the responsibility of that.
Yeah. Which is dumb to begin with.
Yeah, might he come on a pay-per-view? Maybe. He might be on a pay-per-view, but I guarantee he's not on Raw. And I don't think he's this soon. You know what? If you just want me to draw a clear line in the sand, is that what you're asking me to do?
Mm-hmm. This is the over-under thing. Does he appear before February 6th, or does he appear February 6th and later?
I'm gonna say he's after. We won't see him
after.
We don't see him until February.
All right. So there you go.
Are you gonna?
I'll shake on it.
All right.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
If he appears this Sunday, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Why? You would win then.
I know. I just think that'd be really funny because you'd be like, we have several months invested in this, and it ends
this will be like a recurring
in 3 days
bit between us, and then he's like,
all right. Well, the next time he doesn't appear,
you see him and you go, fuck.
Okay. So we've established it.
We don't see him till February 6th or later, and that's when he's going to set up the Mania match between him and Rollins.
All right. Let's see if that
Stephanie
if that
will not have
happens.
talked to him in months at that point.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know where he is. I haven't spoken to him in half a year.
Well, see, the whole
I
thing
don't sleep with him.
The thing with Stephanie is I don't know that it's like we're supposed to buy into her being genuine though.
Yeah.
Because
she's trying to seem genuine.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh no, I was evil the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know.
She wouldn't lie to Mick. Come on now.
I don't know that we're meant
She has
to.
that innocent smile.
I don't know that we're meant to believe that she hasn't actually spoken to him. She's just saying that. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah.
I don't go home to him
Who's she
every
doing
day.
her midnight workouts with now?
Yeah, I don't go home to him every day, and I don't sleep with him. I don't eat with him. I don't see him at all.
After having shook on it, I was like, man, February seems like a long time now. I'm gonna go with it. I'll roll with it.
All right.
It's a matter of pride.
Yeah.
October, November, December, January, February.
So 5. Yeah.
Well, a little less than.
Yeah. Less than 5 months. All right. That's a stretch. But we'll see if it pays off. Air quote pays off for Doug here.
How's it paying off? It's just
Well, I said air quote. Pun.
It's a matter of pride. I feel real good about myself.
So
I'd be like, yo, I called that shit.
on February 6th, you can call me and be like, told you, motherfucker. Let's see. I think we pretty much covered everything on Raw. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Are we going to do predictions and then go to SmackDown, or are we going to do predictions at the end?
Whichever you guys would like.
Which do you think makes more sense?
Well,
to do them with Raw and say Raw branded pay-per-view?
yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
All right. Well, with that, we got to hear those picks.
We got to hear those picks.
We've got to hear those picks.
I forgot. One
So,
more.
Clash of Champions this Sunday, WWE Network. Should be an interesting show. The card looks pretty decent, I think. The build for it, not so much. The kickoff matchup, Nia Jax versus Alicia Fox. Man, this is a toss-up. It could go.
Tyler looked convinced that Alicia
Yeah,
Fox
he's shaking
was
his
gonna win.
head. No, man, I got the winner. I know who it is.
man.
And
Tyler's got Foxy. You know it. He
Foxy.
loves Foxy. Look at him. He wants Fox.
Foxy Brown.
We
can't get
want
enough of that
Foxy
Foxy Brown.
and Wade Barrett. Okay.
The love couple that was not able to stand the test of time.
Yeah.
Like Brad and Angelina. Mm-hmm. Just couldn't hold on.
You know
So,
what? Since she lost the love of her life, I'm going Nia Jax.
what? She lost the love of her life, and now she's going to lose this match?
That's how life goes.
Oh, man. Kick them when they're down.
If you look in the rule book for the Pick'ems contest, it specifically states that is Tyler winning or are you winning?
We're tied, actually.
No, I thought you were ahead of me.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm 1 point ahead.
It says that the second place
Oh,
person
bullshit.
has has to defer to the last place person's pick for the kickoff match of the first officially Raw branded pay-per-view.
Oh, when was this rule started?
That's Section 8, Paragraph 2.
I'm sorry, I didn't read the book. I just just threw it to the side. My bad on
I
that.
printed it out for a reason.
You shouldn't just sign shit without reading it either.
My bad. I tend to do that a lot.
You didn't read the fine print?
Hey, read the whole contract and get back to me. I'm just gonna sign it.
You just had I'm sure your lawyers thumbed through it and looked over every angle.
So Mr. Bear will be selecting Mrs. Fox.
Bullshit.
Doug, how about you?
I like that. Mr. Bear. He's gonna pick Mrs. Fox.
He's
He's gonna pick Mrs. Fox too.
going Woodland Creatures.
Since Tyler's going with Alicia Fox, I'm gonna mix it up, and I'm gonna go with Nia Jax. I'm gonna go with Nia Jax.
Ooh, man.
Such bullshit.
Split decision
I
here.
picked Nia Jax.
Oh, man, this is going to be tough.
Is it?
Well, because Alicia Fox, she needs that win back. And like you said, she's fighting for the love of Wade Barrett.
And her friend.
So
And that little foxtail.
you got to redeem it. But
Watch Foxy go over and Tyler be like, God damn, I should have went with.
I'm going to go with Nia Jax.
I'll be like, life doesn't make sense anymore.
There's no such thing as love. All right, so I'm picking Nia Jax as well. So the three of us picking Nia Jax. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Doug and I picking Nia Jax.
Fucking bullshit.
Tyler picking Alicia Fox.
That is not true.
Tyler's rolling the dice. He's really confident in his second place standing.
Yeah.
He's going to roll the dice.
Why are you beating your chest, man? Pointing at yourself?
Oh, my gosh.
Pointing at the guns? I'm Nia Jax. All right, so Doug, pick the next matchup we're going to talk about. We got match number 7, the Cruiserweight Championship tag titles, Sami Zayn versus Jericho, the Raw Women's Championship, the United States Championship, and the WWE Universal Championship. And possibly the Shining Stars. It's not on the card right now, but I could see it being a kickoff, Shining Stars versus Enzo and Cass.
Yeah, we'd all pick Enzo and Cass, so it'd be like null and void. It'd be like, why? It wouldn't affect the standings.
As of this recording, it has not been announced, so it does not count.
Well, even if it did get announced, we'd all pick Enzo and Cass, so it wouldn't affect.
I don't know. I think Tyler wants to check out those timeshares.
Okay, well, we can do a
Go to Puerto Rico.
the shining star of the Caribbean. Let's go with the Cruiserweight.
All right. TJ Perkins versus the Brian Kendrick.
I mean,
Who got more shine this past week on Raw?
I mean, look, all signs point to they'll do the absolute wrong thing, so it wouldn't shock me if Brian Kendrick walked out with that title.
Gosh.
But
That's a big WTF if that happened.
I'm gonna err on the side of sanity and say that if they wanted someone besides TJP to have that fucking belt, they would have just crowned him in the fucking Classic. So I'm gonna say TJP.
All right.
I'm the same because if they would have gone that, I mean, like if he won, Brian Kendrick, that's like I said, a big WTF moment. Like, no.
Yeah, I think this is a chance. Brian Kendrick is an established superstar. The fans, at least, are aware of who he is. So this will be a breakthrough match.
It's been a while since he's been there. What did he say? Like almost 8 years.
Yeah, I mean he's been gone a while, but fans like you and I, and the casual 30-year-old fan, and late 20s are aware of who he is. Or those who watch Total Divas, I guess. I think this is going to be
I met Brian Kendrick and Candace. Is it Candace Michelle that was with him?
Yeah. Was that at Walmart?
It was like at a Walmart signing or something for a house show they did here, like,
nice.
Obviously 8 years ago or longer.
Yeah.
That really, wow.
I still cracked up that one time I watched Price is Right. Mm-hmm. He went on there. He got to go up on stage. It was funny.
I've never seen that.
Yeah. I posted a picture of it on the Facebook page.
Huh.
I'll have to see if I can find it. But yeah, I think it's going to be a spotlight match for TJ Perkins. He's going to retain the title and defeat the Brian Kendrick. So all unanimous on that one?
Yes.
Good deal. Let's talk about Cesaro versus Sheamus, match number 7. The conclusion of this, the winner gets a title shot
Winner gets 3 title shots.
All right. They get a best of 7 title shot. I feel since we have a heel champion right now, a face has to win it because
They both have faces.
Well, they do have faces, but one is portraying a baby face, one is portraying a heel. And our current champion is heel. So I'm going to say that the person portraying a baby face character will win the match. So I'm choosing Cesaro to win the best of 7 series. Go on to face Kevin Owens.
Are you sure? The rumors are he's not re-signing his contract.
Really?
That is up soon.
Yep.
Like next month or something like that.
That's enough time for their next pay-per-view. No, I'm going to stick with Cesaro. Tyler?
Go with Doug. I'm still thinking.
All right, Doug?
I'm just going to stand here and stare at Tyler until he makes the wrong decision.
Tyler?
The wrong decision? Is that what you said?
So basically, whoever he picks, you're going against?
We'll see. We'll see.
No,
I'm so far behind that I resulted to mind games with you fucks. And I want to say in the issue of fairness, fairness and also soothing my own my ego a little bit, is that I don't want you guys to get too fucking proud of yourselves if you beat me, because I will have it be known, just to soothe my ego a little bit, there were about 2 months that I didn't watch the product and I just picked it blindly.
Yes, you did.
So I gotta soothe my fragile ego a little bit and get that out there.
I'll stand behind you on that statement.
Okay. All right.
Don't worry. I'm not going to be like, yeah, in your face, dog. Where were you?
I mean, I would so do that to you
You're going to
guys.
stand behind him and do a he's going to do a
That's
trust
what
fall?
2017 is for.
2017.
You do a trust fall, I'll catch you, Doug.
All right.
Don't worry.
No, I heard the same thing about his contract.
Giving excuses. What's up with that?
Because he's not happy. But, man, I'm just going with my heart. I really want, I don't know if that's true or not about Cesaro, but I'm still going to pick Cesaro.
Cesaro.
Oh, you dummy.
You dumb fuck.
Yeah, I'm going with Cesaro too.
All right. There you go. So Doug, we'll go to you on this one. All 3 of us picking Cesaro to win.
I think it's your turn to pick.
Well, I picked Cesaro and Sheamus.
Is it a tie?
Went this way. Now I'm going this way. So
I don't like that.
we have the tag. Yeah, I'm switching it up on you. What you want me to go to Tyler?
Yes.
All right, Tyler. We've got the tag titles: Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho.
Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho.
Okay, so Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho. What are you thinking?
You know, Chris Jericho has it.
Mm-hmm. And he's got the list.
Yes. Sami Zayn has a hat and a jacket.
Yes. Crowd does seem to like him.
Yes. No, I'm gonna go with Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn. All
so
right.
he can. I know he's been getting wins here and there and stuff, and they'll have him like in a bigger feud with someone else. But I think he's gonna go over Jericho.
Okay.
Stupid idiot.
Stupid idiot.
Doug, what are you feeling about this match?
I'm gonna insist that you go next.
All right.
Don't pick wrong.
All right.
Don't pick wrong.
I'll try not to.
Don't pick wrong.
I feel like Jericho is on the run of his 18th career, because I mean, my God, how many has he had already?
Wrong. I'm gonna have to insist that you get appointed. Doug did.
You suck.
From this show or from the total card?
Life.
Whatever I feel like.
All right.
Doug makes the rules.
No, I think Chris Jericho is on a really good run right now. He can afford a loss. Sami Zayn it's a good opportunity for them to put over a new young talent, and Jericho is just the guy to do it. I'm going to go with Sami Zayn to win.
I thought you were going to say Chris Jericho.
Stupid
idiot. Itty.
What?
Say it, Felipe.
It's a tough call.
Yeah, I mean, Jericho's Teflon. He loses all the time. It never matters. I'm going to go with Sami Zayn.
All right. I was like, is he going to swerve it? Is he going to go the other way?
He swerved us.
Both.
I'm in y'all's heads. Look how rattled you guys.
I don't
are.
even know what he's
Y'all
going
about
to
to
do.
have all kinds of wrong
Put your
picks.
hands down. Oh, God. All right, Doug, you get to pick the next match. We got the tag titles, the women's championship.
Universal Championship.
Pulling a Tyler. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins.
No,
Shit.
Oh,
no.
threw us off.
We don't want to do that.
It's mind games, Tyler. Come on.
What a mind fuck.
What are some of the other matches?
The tag titles, the women's championship, the United States championship, or the Universal championship.
Let's go with the women's.
Women's, all right. Charlotte versus Sasha Banks versus Bayley.
I'm going to go with Charlotte, and that means Tyler can't pick Charlotte.
What the hell?
All right, Tyler, who are you picking? Sasha or Bayley?
Charlotte.
No. The question was Sasha or Bayley.
Tyler's picking Charlotte, then I'm going to change mine.
Go ahead.
I'm in your head.
Are you picking Charlotte?
I'm in
Yes.
your head.
He's picking Charlotte.
I might change mine then, just because I don't want to be associated with someone who picked so wrongly.
What if I pick Charlotte?
Well, that would cancel the other one out. So
Oh, okay, so it'd be all right if I did that.
yeah,
Okay, well I'm gonna pick Charlotte.
I guess I'll stay then.
Sadly, I think Charlotte's gonna win. Who do you guys think is taking the pin or submission? Bayley. Make her lose again.
Seems like it.
I'm gonna say Sasha,
Yeah.
just because
Bayley has pinned Sasha.
if
Sasha.
they were just gonna do the Sasha thing, then why even introduce Bayley? I mean, obviously you have to introduce Bayley, but not into the main event feud.
Mm-hmm.
They could have let Bayley do her own thing. So why? Because Sasha was already feuding with her.
Introduce her
I
to
don't
the Hall of Pain.
Or are they trying to recreate the WrestleMania 32 match to where they say, okay, well, Charlotte won that one. Now we're going to go with what the fans want and give it to either Sasha or
Well,
Bayley.
it's not, because it was Becky, not Bayley.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Bayley was going to be the third person in that mix-up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I feel. See what I. Everything discounted, like not where I would ideally go from scratch, but where I would go from where they're at right now is either Bayley wins and Sasha fucks her over and goes heel off of it, and then the feud moves to them, and just go with it, because I don't know why you've sort of flirted around it to this point, or yeah, I mean, I think that would be the ideal way to go with it, but I don't know. I think Charlotte, like I said, I feel like they're like background players in the Charlotte story.
And then Dana Brooke turns on Charlotte, and then she beats Charlotte and becomes champion. And the crowd goes, eh.
I don't know about that.
Eh?
Oh, you think they give a better reaction?
I mean, whatever the opposite of what Tyler would say.
All right. Let's talk about the tag titles. New Day versus Gallows and Anderson. I feel like this is a match that has gotten just... This is a feud that has just been so awkward. The segments between the two have been so bad. And
You like it.
no, I really
When
don't.
there were doctors, proctologists.
The doctor things, the old day, just the whole shtick of it.
Proctologists.
It's been bad. I'm hoping that the New Day retains and can move on from this god-awful feud. So I'm picking New Day to retain.
I'm going to pick the club.
Yeah? Gallows and Anderson?
That's club.
Final answer?
Yes.
All right. Doug?
It feels like it's time for them to change the titles.
It's felt like that for quite some time.
Because I thought they
And
were
every time I've
last
picked
they
Gallows
did.
and Anderson,
Well, they only
New
fought
Day
them
wins.
one time for the titles on a pay-per-view, right? Or is it twice?
I think twice now.
I thought once.
I don't know.
But are Gallows and Anderson really the team to take it from them? Who is another heel team? I guess the Shining Stars, they don't really still have like the team to take it either.
No.
Is there another heel team besides those two?
Breezango.
They're on SmackDown.
Are they? I thought they're on Raw. Shows you how much I know.
Yeah, that's all right.
You know what?
We'll get to SmackDown.
We'll still pick Breezango.
You heard that. I recorded Tyler
Yeah.
picks Breezango.
I picked no.
Official.
Nope.
Official.
No.
Breezango.
I'm gonna go with New Day.
New Day. All right. Final answer, Tyler.
The club.
Breezango. All right. Let's go into Rusev and Roman Reigns.
Go into Rusev?
Oh yeah, for the United States Championship. This is another one where it's like, okay, they started to build a little bit, and then it kind of like derailed a little bit for Rusev to go and get married and have his honeymoon. Yeah, I totally get that. That's fine. But then they came back to it. I just don't know which way they're gonna go. Tyler, we'll start with you. Roman Reigns versus Rusev, United States Championship on the line. What you thinking?
See, I just don't know if they're gonna throw Reigns into the main event again, or they're just gonna keep him away for a while Rollins and Owens keep on fighting.
Yeah.
Until Triple H gets back. I don't know.
I think Rollins and Owens are gonna feud for 5 months.
No.
It's a long time, huh?
I could throw someone else. I don't know. Rusev.
Picking Rusev? All right. Doug?
Rusev.
Rusev. Yeah, part of me wants to say Roman Reigns, just because I feel like he's kind of floating right now.
Yes.
In between the top tier and the United States level. Because obviously the winner of the best of 7 is going to go up for the title shot. So I think Cesaro will win that, lose to Kevin Owens, and then maybe you can have Roman come back up. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know.
Never.
Maybe never. Who knows?
Trade him to SmackDown.
But I'm going to pick Rusev to retain as well. I think he's doing a fine job as the United States champion. As a great heel. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. That takes us into the Universal Championship. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. I feel it's too soon to take the title off of Kevin Owens, but hey, you never know. I'm going to pick Kevin Owens to retain.
I gotta go, my boy Kevin Owens.
You heard him, Seth Rollins. I'll take Kevin Owens.
All right.
Can I even make up any ground on this? Do we have any different picks?
Tag team.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. So, anyways, let us know in the comment section what you thought. But I gotta say, those were some great picks. Those were some great dicks. What is wrong with you guys? Let's talk about Smackdown.
Chicks, man.
Sure. Chicks. I didn't get to catch the first half of it. Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss had their contract signing.
Contact signing.
Yeah, I agree to
Are you far side
contact
or
my fist to your face.
It was pretty blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither one of them are like super great promos, so it was just sort of there.
The Usos defeat American Alpha.
And a really good match. And
good storytelling out here.
I'm
selling the leg.
I'm not crazy about them beating American Alpha here, but they did it in the most protected fashion that they could. The only reason that they beat them, I guess, theoretically, is because just there's so few tag teams, so they had to have Usos earn a right because they just lost in the tournament, so they had to earn a right to face Slater and Rhino. But they really played off of Gable's like injured leg, and that's how they won. They
establishing that heel.
Yeah, I mean, they really emphasized that the only reason they won is they capitalized on a weakness that they already like illegally obtained. It's the best way you could beat a team that you don't want to beat. Mm-hmm. I just still don't like the fact that they beat them. But I even like that up to the Usos going to the back because they had like Slater and Rhino in the back eating crackers with cheese on them, like watching them on.
Hilarious.
It was
Rhino got pissed. He smashed all his crackers.
Yeah.
Damn it!
But yeah,
I don't know what it was, but maybe I don't know if it's through the whole show or just during this match. Just the commentary, oh my gosh, was horrible.
Yeah.
JBL I know he stuttered a few times, and then I felt like Otunga was cut off. He kept on trying to tell a story 3 different times. He kept on getting cut off. Okay. What did Rikishi say when you met him on set? He never finished. I'm like, what did he say? What did he say to you about his kids? Come on now.
Oh, yeah, now I want to know. Someone tweeted David Atonga and find out what Rikishi said.
We'll never know. Ever. But, okay, so Baron
I forgot about that until you reminded me. He got cut off like 3. He had something that he wanted to say about the Usos that he learned from Rikishi, but they kept fucking cutting him off.
The whole time during a match, I was like, I want to know what the hell it was, man. He didn't even like.
What did Rikishi say? Hashtag what did Rikishi say?
Yeah, there you go. Get that going.
Baron Corbin against Apollo Crews. Jack Swagger apparently on commentary.
Yeah, they really just it was really just a setup to move him on to Swagger. So
Cool.
Pretty much it. Like Apollo didn't get much in the match. It was basically showcasing Corbin.
Poor Apollo.
I don't know if I'm gonna like that feud or not.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to establish a new guy in Baron Corbin. You got a longtime vet in Jack Swagger.
Swagger is a guy Corbin can beat without sacrificing someone who needs the momentum.
We'll see. Because I want to say I heard that they brought Swagger over to give him a push, but I mean, if it's only to feed him to Corbin, I don't know. Got to hear more facts from Kurt Hawkins.
Yep.
Who's talking different accents?
Okay. I came in.
Oh, sorry. So when is he going to debut?
He has debuted. This is how he debuts. I don't know. I feel like from the comments that I've been seeing, there are people who are already like declaring this dead. Like the whole thing is stupid. Oh, whatever. Miz versus Ziggler. I came in at the end of the match. The crowd seemed pretty pumped for it.
Humped?
I was trying to say hyped and then pumped, but
They were pretty
I got
humped
humped. What'd you guys think about?
This match was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They killed it, and it was a great finish.
You're doing some bright spots.
Miz, there was an awesome finish where, like, Maurice got ejected for trying to spray it
That's whenever I came in.
in his face. They worked around back to where Miz was eventually picked it up on the outside and used it. It was fucking awesome finish.
Brilliant.
They killed it, and the finish was cool. And Miz was probably the best heel in the whole fucking brand, if not the whole company at this point. So there you go.
So
And he's had negotiations with his contract.
So you damn it, I forgot what I was gonna say. I just had to brain fart. So okay, never mind. So you like everything they've been doing recently with the Miz, or there's some things have been off, or is it completely like you like it?
Well, anything that's felt off is just them like
The Daniel Bryan thing.
undercapitalizing off of the heat that he had, and not so much his performance. It's just them like. It's like they had an awesome direction. It felt like they should have gone, and they sort of like sidestepped a little bit over here, and then they sort of step back. So my disappointment is like the direction of the booking and not his performance.
Is it weird that it's like, I know superstars go through this, but it's like, okay, there's a point in time I didn't like The Miz, then you got with John Morrison, I liked him as a tag team, then he broke out. Yeah, I was supposed to say it's hot in here.
It's real fucking hot.
Yeah. And then
I was like, it can't be just me.
He broke out, and he was going against John Cena the first time, got the title, and I like that stuff. And he just then there was a while he wasn't doing too much. We didn't like it. Then he did something else. It kind of goes back and forth at times, with the Miz. So
Yeah, because back in like 2011, I think, when we were just starting the podcast, we were like huge supporters of the Miz. We're like, this guy's going to be the next big star. He's got the catchphrase, he got the cool, the good music for the entrance and all that. And,
it's surprising.
I don't know if I said he had a good entrance music.
well, live and learn.
It's surprising. I will like someone, for a while, and they'll do something that's not so great, and then I'm like, there's some people I'm like, okay, I still like them, but I don't like what they're doing. But there's some people I'm like, I'm tired of them. And there was a point where Miz was like that to me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, there's no getting around it. I mean, no one could objectively say Miz had a great year last year. He just didn't. He fucking sucked last year.
His face run was pretty terrible. And
he wasn't given a lot of opportunity, and the opportunity that he was given, he did not capitalize on. He's
figure four leg lock from Flair.
I mean, who fucks that up?
Him.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like to go off of what you're saying is there are some people, or at least a certain segment of fandom, who will give everyone a pass for their reputation. Like Jericho is quote unquote a legend, so we're never gonna criticize him or say when he's doing shitty or when he's having a off year or a bad run. We're just gonna say Jericho's awesome, and we're not ever gonna critique him. And there are certain people. The flip side of that is The Miz always sucks. He's always sucked, and he's never gonna be good, even if he has a good year, a good run. All we can try to do is be objective and be like, is Miz being awesome right now, or is Miz sucking right now? And when we thought he sucked, we said we thought he sucked, and when we thought he was doing well, we thought he was doing well. That's what we do here. No one gets a pass based on their reputation, positive or negative. It's like no one is always going to be awesome, and no one is always going to be bad. It's always going to be like, were they awesome or were they bad? And then we're going to say that.
Yeah.
Some people don't look at it that way. So.
I mean, just a hater.
Yeah.
But yeah, Miz has definitely been on a tear since his Talking Smack segment. I mean, they kind of killed it for him, but he's showing in the ring that he's willing to put on good matches.
There's no way that they capitalized on what they could have.
Right.
But it's not really his fault.
Yeah, and plus you're having him, have a feud with someone who can't fight back in Daniel Bryan. I mean, yeah, he can get the one up, be like, oh, well, as long as you're champion, you're going to defend the title every week, blah, blah, blah. But it's not the same as stepping into the ring with him. So had it been last year when this all went down, when Daniel Bryan could have competed or something like to that nature, yeah, sure, that would have been awesome. But Miz has done a bang-up job lately. And you got to give credit to Ziggler as well because he's in the ring with the Miz. So, both guys. If you guys are saying this was a great matchup,
yeah, it was really
you have to give credit to both Miz and Ziggler.
Good match, yeah.
So yeah, and then you go from that to Orton versus Eric Rowan.
Orton's cleared.
Yep,
he can work.
I was about to say because didn't they show clips from a house show or something? He was wrestling. Where did I see that? I saw something somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, how's he wrestling? If he's not cleared." But
hey, what is the mask supposed to be? The paint on the mask supposed to be?
Could be Luke Harper.
Yeah, but why is there clown? What about a clown makeup on the mask equates to Luke Harper? Did you take it as clown makeup, or was it?
I didn't really get a look enough.
It was just like all white.
There's like a paint job on the mask. I don't know.
Who knows? New person, maybe. We'll have to see as the story develops.
Sister Wyatt.
Nikki Bella and teaming up with Naomi to go up against Carmella and Natalya doesn't really happen. It ends in a disqualification or whatever. Big brawl, all that good stuff. Dean Ambrose defeating John Cena clean in the center of the ring. Very shocking to me. I mean, you can kind of tell that John Cena is on the downward angle of his career if he's losing on a televised, just a regular TV show.
He's lost on.
He has, but there's always been a distraction.
Someone said that he hasn't lost on TV clean since like January of 2015 or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a long time because, there's always a distraction. There's always someone running in. There's someone causing, doing something for whatever reason. He has not lost clean.
You put the younger guys over.
Yeah, and so for that to happen, goodness gracious.
John Cena's going to be an 18-time world champion.
I think it's a mistake.
Yeah?
I don't think Ambrose should have beat him. Because Ambrose is either in a rut or...
Unless I think this is going to help him.
Well, look, when Daniel Bryan beat him, it was a big deal because Cena doesn't fucking lose to everybody. So when Bryan finally beat him, it's like, oh, he's clearly elevated to the upper echelon. When AJ Styles fucking beat him, it's like, oh, he's clearly elevated to the upper echelon because he didn't just lose to everybody.
This felt nothing like I didn't
Well,
feel
those guys were on the rise, or both those guys were on a fucking tear, having good matches with everybody, cutting good promos, being elevated up the card, being groomed into being stars. Dean Ambrose feels like a flat, failed title run, unsuccessful, feels like he's going nowhere, doesn't feel like he's been having good matches.
Who do you put the blame on that for? Do you put it on Dean Ambrose? Do you put it on the creative? Do you put it on the writers?
Well, I mean, if you want to look at it like creative, the promo wise, maybe they split the bill on that.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's been given. I mean, I don't know what his input is, but clearly he hasn't been given the best to work with. But I felt like he's been unmotivated in the ring. I don't feel like he's been having good matches. I think the match he had with AJ was largely AJ making it a good match. And AJ hadn't had a good fucking bad match with anybody since he's been here. So I don't know why Ambrose couldn't like.
I mean, you go back to the Stone Cold podcast where Austin literally challenged him to push the envelope. Hey, man, break a couple rules. You know, yeah, you'll get in trouble, but the fans will be talking. Do something. And then he comes out and he cuts his little promos. He goes from side to side and does all that. He goes back to his normal shtick. He doesn't do anything to really get the people talking. So that's one of the reasons why I was so shocked that he beat John Cena. Like, I get that you're trying to establish a new guy.
They need new stars for that brand.
They need new stars. Yeah. But that's a waste of a Cena loss to me. Like, not just, fucking AJ, Daniel Bryan, those were the right guys to beat him at the right times, And when you need Cena to later on cleanly delineate between a guy who's now a top player, if he loses to guys who don't become top players, then that stops signifying guys are becoming top players when they beat him. Mm-hmm. So it dilutes the effect of beating John Cena. Yeah.
So for someone who I feel is like meandering, I feel like it's a wasted loss for Cena.
Yeah.
And also, I think that Austin thing was kind of a dick move because I think it was a different time and he could get away with a little bit more.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, dude, you're on live TV.
Sure.
If you wanted to, not really anything they can do to stop you.
Yeah.
Aside from blatantly cutting out the microphone or something, But, I mean, you do what you got to do, make an impact. And it was the fact that, like, he didn't hit a finisher. I mean, he hit the DDT and the dirty deeds or whatever, but the win did not come from that.
Right.
It was just a flip into a pin, and it was so very shocking to see.
I mean, I was shocked just like you, but in the wrong way. I think it was a wasted loss.
I'll agree with that. And then Daniel Bryan comes out and says, well, hey, and, now I understand as to why, but Daniel Bryan comes out and was like, hey, we promised Dean Ambrose he'd get a rematch against AJ Styles, so we're going to have that match next week. So you have a guy who's beaten John Cena and AJ Styles now going up against a guy who's beaten John Cena and Dean Ambrose. So there's, they are equal in this match.
Well, it's just that he's not going to beat AJ next week, and they wanted to give him win going into it. Just, I don't know. Cena was the wrong guy.
You don't have him lose and be like, hey, I know you just lost, but good news, you got a championship match next week.
I would have been fine with him beating Orton.
Yeah.
Not that really, they're sort of doing the triangle between the three guys, so I get why it was Cena, but I just wouldn't do the match.
So, and I saw a comment about this, and I just want to get your guys' input on it. What do you guys think about them having championship matches on SmackDown or on Raw now that they've added 7 new pay-per-views? Like, shouldn't that be something that they hold off on? Because, I mean, 2 weeks ago we had Backlash. This week we have Clash of Champions. 2 weeks from now we have Hell in a Cell. And then 2 weeks after that we've got another
if they have
pay-per-view.
It on like one of the brand shows like once every now and then, like a big distance, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I think it depends on how hot the angle is and who the guy is and how hot the match is. I fully expect that Cesaro's title match will be on. If Cesaro gets a Universal title match, I fully expect it to be on Raw and not on the pay-per-view. So I think it depends on. It's a case-by-case basis.
Sure. So that does it for SmackDown. Going into some hot topics, TNA actually received a bid for their library from the WWE. No report as to, or at least none that I saw, of the TNA respond.
Well, Corgan's trying to buy the company outright for himself. And I think, excuse me, from my understanding is that he has to raise the funds by
30% or something.
Well, what he needs is enough to run the next set of tapings, which will be like several, or at least a few $100,000 to run the next set of tapings.
Just go on tour. But you might not be able to get it in time.
Well, yeah, he's running TNA, so yeah. So
You imagine
they're not gonna sell the library until the company's dead.
Because they want the library for like their guys, like they want AJ Styles.
Well, they brought in
Samoa
AJ Styles.
Joe,
Yeah, they brought in all these
Bobby
guys.
It's not. It is that, but it's not just that. It's they
Get their
have
guys,
everyone's
too.
tape library.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If a promotion died that was noteworthy, they have their fucking library. They bought them all.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Name how many libraries do you know they have?
They have Smoky Mountain. They have AWA. They have
NWA?
WCCW. Well, NWA is a governing body of several promotions. They had Stampede stuff, but they took it off because there was some dispute between Bret Hart owning the footage or not. So they put up about 5 of those shows that they took down. But I got them motherfuckers when I took them.
Nice.
What else do they have? They have go look on the network. They have a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So will we see? And it'll also help for like a Dudley Boys DVD, a Hardy's DVD, all that. Just basically stuff for them to make more money.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know they got like older stuff that no one thought, but like just having the TNA library for WWE, I think that's just weird to see.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean it's a business move if that does happen.
It
and I
would be
totally
very
understand that.
similar. I'd have very similar feelings to whenever WCW got bought. Like that was just so weird because I was invested in both, and then one day you just see Vince McMahon on TNT, and you're like, wait, what the hell? And switch over to USA, and there he is again. I'm like, oh, what's happening here? Like, that was mind blowing to me. I was like, oh my god, what's happening?
Yeah.
Because they spent so much time going back and forth, taking jabs at one another, and it's like, oh, now we're here. It's like, what are you doing on my TV?
Bought you.
So, yeah, I mean, just like the AJ Styles Stone Cold podcast, where they're mentioning Dixie Carter. Like, it's so weird to hear them say it. Like, I don't know. But,
I think it hits me more in this age because when I was younger, I watched some WCW and it was mostly WWF, and I watched that show when they're both on there. We're like, oh no, they're on this. I switched that channel too. I was like, they're on there too, but it didn't have the same effect to me because I didn't watch it.
Yeah, because you weren't as invested.
So,
but you've been invested in TNA, and just like Ring of Honor, you've been invested in. So if Vince or Shane walk through the curtain of Ring of Honor one day, you're like, oh my god, like what is happening here?
So yeah, that would be more of an effect.
Yeah. Other Hot Topic news: Luke Harper and Emma have both been cleared to return to the ring. Now, when we will see them, that is speculation. But they have both been cleared to return. Now to go into some WWE 2K17 news, turn it over to Mr. Tyler. Don't call me a bear. A bear. Tyler, what you got for us this week?
I am so pumped. I'm already pumped as is for the game, but let's go with part of career mode. Okay, as you know, with career mode, you start in NXT. I think last year you could, for your whole career, you could stay in NXT the whole time, or you could go up to the main roster. But what was introduced is you can actually bypass NXT by being a Paul Heyman guy, and he'll get you past that. And all you have to do is do what he says and all that stuff, and you can be skyrocket to the top, or you can still be with him and kind of, go against him a little bit. Then I guess eventually you will get to fight Brock Lesnar. But also, if you stick with him, this is also a new feature. Apparently, you can sell merch and get money and stuff. He'll show you how to do that. Cut promos. He'll help you cut promos and all that stuff. So that's pretty interesting. That's a new feature. So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try that.
Cool.
Because
Dynamite.
the last 2 years you had to stick it out in NXT and stuff, but also I want to play it where I'm sticking out NXT just because
Create two characters.
Yeah, because there's gonna be there's new characters, are probably gonna be newer storylines and stuff, and just
Or will there?
I don't think it'll be last year when you get into Raw and you want to piss off Triple H, and or you could be with Triple H and fight Sting. That storyline was like 2 years ago or whatever, a year and a half ago. I think they're gonna do something different, and which is cool. And we'll see how that goes. And then the Smackdown that happened Tuesday on Twitter, WWE 2K Dev was introducing DLC characters. This is the first round, apparently. There's going to be more rounds. But, man, I'm super pumped with the characters. I don't remember where there's been a time where I'm pumped for several characters to come out. There's only been like one or two.
Yeah.
This one is really, really good. Start off with a great one, Austin Aries, which is really, really cool. Austin Aries, there's Mojo Rawley, which I don't quite understand that. I thought Mojo Rawley would just be part of the main game instead of DLC. But he's on there, so that's cool. They got Ty Dillinger, same thing too, but that's still cool. They got the Club. They got the Godfather, Papa Shango, Eddie Guerrero, and Kerry Von Erich.
Nice.
So that is just the first wave. So I counted all the characters with DLC and just the main characters. We're up to 144.
Goodness.
I believe. I'm not gonna say 145. They say there's two Goldbergs, but it's not alternate attires. There's two Goldbergs, so I'm not counting the other Goldberg. So yeah, that's so cool. And I was thinking about a few things. I was like, okay, if they're gonna do more rounds, it's just gonna have to be legends because I don't think there are gonna be any more NXT guys.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think. Okay, let's just say Bobby Roode didn't make the cut. I'm
sure.
So sure he didn't.
He came
make the
in kind of late.
Yeah. I don't think they have Ciampa and Gargano because they were in it in NXT, but I don't think they signed the contract with WWE because they were going back with the Indies and stuff. So I don't think they are. So I don't think there was anyone else. No Way Jose, pretty sure he didn't make the cut either. And same with Authors of Pain.
Well, yeah.
TM61, all that stuff. So
maybe the last DLC pack or something like that. They'll be like, "Hey, we got to get you scanned in real quick," and
that would be cool if they got someone else like that. But I know you're saying I'm ready for the next year with all the cruiserweights, but I'm pretty excited about this game. I've counted more than it may be around 25 or a little bit under. But that's how many new characters are in the game, and we haven't had that in a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like we got 6 new characters in the game this year. This is like 20-something.
And 2 of them are the same person, just different attire.
Yeah, 20-something. I'm like, holy moly, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So
Holy Foley.
So I'm pretty pumped. In my head, I was going through. I was like, you can make a TNA roster with all these people and stuff like that, and just last game I downloaded the create characters of AJ Styles and Austin Aries. Don't have to do that.
Nope, sure don't.
But I'm gonna try to create younger AJ Styles because you can copy their skin and make. I'm gonna make like the short hair with the the shorts and all that stuff. And
nice.
I wish they can do the you can put music on there like in last gen or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can do the get ready to fly.
I want to say that I heard somewhere that they're going to be bringing that back, but it just might not be this game.
But man, it's just so pumped for the whole DLC.
It was never on PlayStation though. It was an Xbox 360 thing.
Yeah, it was just 360. Yeah, that was true. That was actually a big reason. I mean, I know that sounds stupid, but like I was used to having my music for my characters, and I was like,
and it always sounds shitty because the crowd was so much louder than the music when you put the music in.
Yeah, that's also true. And one time I was playing online, and I was so confused because
it wouldn't play the song.
No. It did one of the years, but the person I was playing had the same music as me.
That's
what
weird.
are the odds?
Yeah,
it was a Depeche Mode song.
Nice.
I was like, what are the odds? Like what?
Or did they just have a different song and it didn't register for you, and so it just played the one that you had logged in? Who knows? I know you're pumped about 2K16. I'm pumped about Gorillas. 17, sorry. I'm pumped about Gorillas. They've started becoming active on their Facebook page, and they created Instagram, and they're all over everything like that. For those of you who do not know, Gorilla's my all-time favorite band, and it looks like their next album's coming up fairly soon. So I'm getting pumped about that.
That means a tour.
Yes, I would love for that. Yesterday they did their Phase 1, which was the self-titled album and their side album. Today was the Demon Days album and all of the D-sides.
These nuts.
No, which means tomorrow is going to be Plastic Beach, which I'm really looking forward to. Friday, if they decide to cover it, will be The Fall. And then hopefully Saturday we'll get the announcement of the next album. If not, then it'll just be Phase 4. Because The Fall is more of a diary than an actual full composed album. So, anyways, I'm getting off track. Looking forward to it. Should be really cool. Time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. Only question coming to us this week from James, saying, great show as always. I was wondering, are the Cruiserweights only going to be on the show with other Cruiserweights, or do you think that they will have them do stuff and wrestle non-Cruiserweights?
I think it'll be Cruiserweights for now.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. My assumption up to this point was they were just going to stick with each other in the Cruiserweight division.
I'm sure that they'll have them stick together in their Cruiserweight division for, a few months. Then there will be a backstage accident or something, or a big guy walking through and bumps into one of the guys, call him Small Fry or something, and they're like, hey, I'm not going to handle that. And so then they have a match or whatever, and, it all bleeds over eventually. But in a sense, there will be a Cruiserweight division where they focus mostly on the Cruiserweights. But I won't be surprised to see a Cruiserweight tag team going up against whoever.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
So there you go. Looking forward to see what the future holds for the Cruiserweight division. And that's going to wrap it up for the show. Make sure to submit your questions on our YouTube channel, WNSvideo, also our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com and WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. And subscribe to our show on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
You can find us on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, Player.fm, in Purse.
Satchel.
Search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
Satchel.
You should tell them what Satchel is.
It is similar to iTunes and Stitcher. It is a podcast audio player. And one of the cool things about it, it has a local option where you can see if there are people hosting podcasts in your area.
That's the most intriguing part about it to me, because I didn't recall you two saying that last week whenever you talked about it originally, and I downloaded it just because the app just
to check it out.
Just because you said we were going to be on it, and I didn't realize that there was an emphasis on other local podcasts. So I thought it was kind of cool. It's sort of hard to figure out the layout of the app, because I even looked at it. I was like, I wonder how many other local podcasts are and what they are. And I looked at it, and there was a Houston metal podcast or something. I was like, great, not really my thing, but I don't know. It's sort of hard to figure out the layout, but play with it. I think it's a new thing. Huh?
It is fairly new, less than a year old. So
it is interesting.
It got referred to me by my mom. I guess she just happened to stumble across it and tagged me in it. So I was like, hey, Ben, make it happen. So.
Well, I do like the local bent to it. I do think that's interesting that we could see what other local podcasts there are out there that we may not be aware of. So that's cool.
Really good stuff.
The podcast.
So they are they will go out that, how other websites, there's a website, we're going to pick them up for us too. They'll do the same thing.
Well, I think you have to sign up for this.
You have to sign up.
That's how they know you're local, because you tell them where you're based or whatever. I mean, I'm sure you had to tell them where you were based, right?
Yeah.
So that's how they know where
we are
local.
In the satchel.
But
we are.
The podcast is on Twitter at WNS Podcast. Daniel's at WNS_Daniel, and Tyler is at Tyler_Abear.
There you go. For the podcast crew, I am Daniel Heron.
And I'm Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug.
And we will catch you all next week.
Purse.